Hello friends, I am Archit Jain on Archit Jain podcast. Come up with new episode. Today we have some special guest today from Microsoft India. So he's senior product manager there, Siva Reddy. So he was alumni from IIT Bhubaneswar as well. So welcome you Shiva on this another episode on Archit Jain podcast. So one of introduction from your mouth, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Archit. Thank you so much. I'm currently a senior product manager at Microsoft. I've been here at Microsoft for about 3 years now. I have finished my undergraduation from IIT Bhubaneswar in electrical engineering back in 2012. Then I have started my career as a software engineer in a development tool called Pega. Soon I realized that my interest lies on the business side of the software, and that's where within United Health Group, which is my first company, I made a shift to business analyst role. I was there for about 3 years, and then I moved to a new company called ADP. There I was the same, as I was working as senior business analyst, and then there I made a shift to product owner role. uh, then I wanted to make sure I work on products that are external facing, that are used by customers that are outside the organization. And I made an intentional move to product manager role. I applied and uh, got hired by a startup called Sky High Networks there as an associate product manager. Uh, and the Sky High Networks, which I joined, was eventually acquired by McAfee. So that's why it's the same company that I worked for. It's my third company. There I made my first step as associate product manager, and then um, moved to product manager, and then finally now I'm here at Microsoft doing product management for Microsoft Defender product.
Oh, sounds really great. You have a some so much strong background. You are coming from IIT Bhubaneswar to Microsoft. It's a long journey, and it's so much put up you have put up so much efforts for this. So, who is a product manager according to you, please?
Yeah. So after spending quite some time in this product management function, I have this analogy that product management function is basically about running the business of a product. So there are a lot of aspects to a business. If we just think about a not regular grocery shop or any business of that sort, there are a lot of aspects to it. First is, what are we providing for the customers? What is the value that we are giving to the customers, and how are we going to get the customers? How are we going to uh, uh, improve the life of the customer? So that is, there's customer angle to it, and then there is business angles to it. Like, how do we make money out of the product? How can we get revenue? How can we get profits? How can we continuously increase the growth of profits and the revenue? So all of that, there are a lot of other items, like, so apart from customers and the business, we also have to think about how are we going to make the product, and how are we going to get things that are required for the product. So all of this constitutes product management function, and product manager is the one who drives the design, execution, and finally delivery of the product.
Okay, sounds so much interesting. So, what's the day-to-day life of a product manager from responsibility side, and how much meetings he attend or you attend each and every day?
Yeah. So I attend about 40% of my I spend my 40% of my day in meetings, but what they constitute differs from day to day. So every now and then, so I think a product manager should always have an objective. They should be having a goal to which they are moving towards. So in the beginning phase of a product, we might be thinking about just launching a minimum viable product of product for the customers. So if that is the goal, we would be thinking about how should we design the experience, how should we uh, um, what all the features that we should include in that minimum viable product, and how can we get the get the resources necessary for getting to the shipping the pot that MVP. So this is what constitutes if it is the initial phase of the product. But then later on, you would be thinking about different objectives, like how can I increase the market of this product, how can increase the revenue out of this product, or maybe how can I increase the engagement on the product. So depending on the objective, the work you do differs. And at any point of time, product managers should have one or two objectives that they are trying to achieve with respect to the product.
Okay. So, how you think like a product manager? Because product manager role is so much different from any technical role or any business related roles in the corporate or in the industry. So, how your thinking goes on? How what's the mindset you have right now? Okay, as a product manager, please.
Okay. So yeah, as you said, like product management is about mindset, and it's not just a skill set that uh, that someone possesses. You have to have a growth mindset. You have to have a value mindset. Uh, so when you are doing something as a product manager, you need to think about the customer first, and the business next, and then all of other stakeholders as well. So cu- you have to keep these uh, these people in your mind, have empathy for them when you're doing something for the product. So if there is anything that doesn't add value or that affects these personas of the product, then we are not adding value for them. So that is where we have to intentionally, even if we are deviated from those aspects, we have to bring the customer, we have to bring the business. So let's say I'm adding a feature, we have to particularly clear, is it going to improve the experience of the customer, is it going to make the customer's life easier, is it going to delight the customer, are they going to be feeling satisfied after we implement this feature. So these are the things that we need to bring into the discussion when we are thinking about building a feature. At the same time, we have to think about what is the value add for the business, how company will gain from this feature. That is the second part of it. uh, and then you have to think about, do we have feasibility to build that feature, do we have any alternatives in providing the same value for the customers. So all of this are the so primary would be the customer thinking, customer centric mindset. Secondary would be business centric mindset, and then comes all other stakeholders of the product.
Okay. So, my another question is, कि, as you told in during the intro that you shift your side from to business analyst than a product manager. So, why you adopt this career as a product manager? Because you already have so much experience in some other fields and you are from finest college. So, yeah, what's the reason?
So actually, the move to product management for me happened organically. Yeah, at the beginning of my career, I did not plan it. I was not envisioning myself as a product manager. So I started as a software engineer. As a software engineer, I was working on a small piece of a product, right? Coding it. I'm reaching out to the business analyst to get my questions answered. I was curious about, why am I building this, what is the purpose of this, uh, what is the value that customer is gaining out of this particular piece that I'm coding, right? And that's where I reached out to business analyst, and I got some information. I didn't get some information. So that's where I thought, like, I should be in a role where I have a bigger picture about the whole software or the product, right? And that's where I thought of moving to business analyst. I reached out to manager. I informed them about my interest. Within 5 6 months, there was an opportunity, and I have become a business analyst within the same organization. So uh, that's where I developed my skill set of making the product roadmap. How to what? Can you still hear me, Ajit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No issues, no issues. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I became a business analyst there. I worked on products. I was writing user stories. I was writing, I was building product roadmap. I was getting the product executed. But again, the requirements are coming from the user, the product manager there. So that's so I have spent quite some time as a business analyst, and then I thought, I need to make a move towards the customer side. That's where I did some research on what are the roles that actually are at the forefront of the product, dealing with the customers, dealing with the business, and that then I got to know about this product management role. And the shift to product management from business analyst was not easy. I did a lot of things. So initially I thought MBA is the only way to go. So then uh, I tried I wrote GMAT. I tried getting into B school. I applied B school, but I failed for once. And then while applying for the second time, I did try out a few, interviewing for a few product manager roles, and that's where I made the move to product management.
Oh, sounds really great. So, मतलब the thing is कि you have your great mindset कि you become a bigger part of something else, and whatever you have developed, what code that you develop and you would like to make how the customer is using this is so much interesting, and this is a great mindset you have, and you shift from a greatest career. So, my another question is, what is case studies and how people solve case studies, because it's right now a product management trending questions, and every time if anyone gives an interview for product management, an assignment is come, and it's basically mainly on case studies and things. Yes.
Well, product management case studies could be of different kind, because you're dealing with end-to-end business of the product. It could be building a it could be about designing a product from scratch. So let's say you're building a music application. So how would you build a new music application? So that could be a case study in itself. And then you could be, as I mentioned, like you could be working towards improving a metric, maybe increasing the revenue out of a product, increasing the engagement on a product, increasing customer uh, uh, the customer time that a customer is spending on the app. So depending on that, you depending on the objective, you might have different case studies. What, given a specific product, what would you do, or what are the options that a product manager has to to achieve a specific objective.
Now, for example, there is an, if I give a random example for any music player, like for example Spotify. So there is a two things are coming now. For example, first is like how you improve the existing product, or what else you would like to add in this, according to you, please.
Yeah. So when you think about Spotify is a well established product. Now you have there is always a way to improve products. You have to go through the experience that has been designed in Spotify. Take a specific customer. Instead of taking all music listeners, you might have to focus your mind on a specific customer, so that you can get ideas about how they would like to listen music. If you can take age criteria, you can take a specific time of the day that they are listening. For example, I will say people who listen while driving to office and coming back to home. So what is their uh, experience like right now, and how would you improve that experience? For example, if they're driving a car, and if they're just plugging in, or maybe using a Bluetooth to connect to the vehicle, and then listening out of it, how you think about that experience they have, and then try to make smaller and enhancements, smaller improvements in that experience. And that would definitely be a increase the customer satisfaction, customer delightness, and eventually improve more activity or more engagement of the app. So that is how you do it. So think about the experience of a specific customer persona and try to improve it.
So, my question is from, what is persona according to you? You can consider persona as a group of people or a group of target people that have some specific problem. What according to you? Please give one example for that as
Persona is basically about, um, you have to think about what are the characteristics of the person,
well.
right?
Okay.
How
Yeah.
old they are, where do they live,
Yeah.
what are their interests, right? And you can also think about how often they do something as well.
Okay.
So these are the things that form a persona. The characteristics and attributes of a person,
Yeah.
particularly a customer in this case, is a persona. As
Yeah.
a book reader, in the case of book readers, there
Yeah.
could be a lot. You know, there could be traveling book readers. There could be
Yeah.
nighttime book readers. There could be book readers who actually try to listen, or maybe rather than reading. So there would
Yeah.
be ebook readers, there could be regular book readers. So these are
Yeah.
all different types of personas. Again, if you take the characteristics of age, the location they are in,
Yeah.
the kind of preferences they have, like they might have different genre preferences, etc. So all of that, uh, you can combine into your persona. If you And make sure your persona is not like one single person, right? Definitely you will focus on one person, but that person is part of a larger group. There are
Okay.
more of that people in your customer base.
Okay. Okay, my next question is, what's the important skills recruiters nowadays look in a resume for a product manager role?
So the typical questions I ask, or I'm being asked when I do the interviews is, design a product. So they would come up with a case study, as I mentioned earlier, like design a music app, or design a search experience for kids, or design, it could be design something automated way of managing the home. So all of that. So there could be multiple product ideas. They could come and they ask you to design it. And for that, actually, you need to have a design mindset. So you need to be intentional about designing experiences that have specific attributes. For example, for me, the attributes that are important is value addition. Like we are giving some value out of it. Basically, I call that value as utility. So there must be product utility. If we are building a product, it should be utilized in some meaningful manner. And then the second one is ease of use. So it should be very simple. It should not be like very complex. You're asking a lot of information from the customer, or you're trying to get customer by pledging themselves into the product. It's not that way, but you have to make it very easy for them to quickly take your product and use it. So that is the second principle that I use to design while designing a product. And then third one is delighting the customer. Maybe giving them appreciation, giving them rewards, giving them some kind of happiness at the end of after using the product, right? So these are the three things which I value a lot while designing a product. But there could be a lot of other things as well that people could, or product managers could generally consider while designing the product.
Okay, great. Any advice for the young aspirants and the persons who are looking to transition from DevOps, a developer, QA analyst, and anything to product manager or associate product manager assistant?
Okay, so I have seen the career of product manager to be, starting from basic. note taker or facilitator of meetings, or some making decisions. So I would say, like, start with that. Try to if there is already a product manager in your organization, who's closely working with you, try to shadow them. Take some of their tasks, like maybe facilitating those meetings and note taking during those meetings, and effectively communicating what happened in that meeting to others. Try to borrow some tasks of that product manager or product owner, and try to and help them in their work, so that you get to learn what product management means, and also they get to have some relief from their work. So that way you can slowly learn what it means to be a product manager. uh, so basically, as I said, like note taking, facilitating meetings, facilitating decision making, evaluating solutions, all of this happens in the beginning of the career, but sooner you will start understanding the whole of the product management function. Then you start ideating new features for the product, ideating uh, new solutions, how to negotiate, how to persuade people, how to gain customers, how to even test something with the customers. You could achieve all of that once you go higher and higher in that level. But you should start small. You should try and work with a product manager in your organization. Try to take their work a little bit and do it, and then slowly transition into the role.
Okay, great. What about Microsoft culture for product managers as well as the others?
Yeah, Microsoft has a large product management team.
Yeah.
They call it program management. Actually, all of program management function contain lot of different roles, including the feature product manager. So for example, I'm working on research, so I'm mostly like the research product manager. I So similarly, like, we have feature product managers, technical program managers, product managers, program managers. So there's a lot of different roles that fall into one umbrella. uh, Microsoft is making some changes now to that broader function, and dividing things up so that people have proper learning and proper career trajectory in their respective function. But yeah, Microsoft is the role is continuously evolving. There's a lot of uh, growth opportunity. There's a lot of even there's a lot of resources that Microsoft provides to for product managers to improve themselves, grow professionally, by learning how the market is, how product management market itself is evolving, right? What people are doing outside, and then bringing all of that elements into the learning aspects, or teaching aspects, or mentoring aspects of product management inside Microsoft.
Sounds really great. So, uh, uh, anything else for design questions you have for tips and tricks? Because you already told me, because for the PM you need to have a design thinking and
Yeah. So design thinking, as I said, like, so there are many principles that you can avoid by when you do a design, and
yeah.
making sure. But you have to keep two primary things in your mind when you do the design. One is to have customer on one side and business on the other side. So I've learned this the hard way. I always used to focus on customer, trying to give more and more features for the customer, spending a lot of effort, spending my valuable engineering resources to build something for the customers. But then we don't get any value out of it from the business standpoint, and soon we will not be able to sustain that product. So those are the things. So we have to keep these both of these things in mind while designing, and uh, have some key metrics also while designing it. So you have to make it make it uh, you should continuously try and gain customers with your design. You should also if you have a model where you convert customers, so make sure your design is so easy that people convert quickly, or people convert rather easily. So these are the things. What else? Yeah, I think and don't work on a product. Don't work on, try to add a lot of features to the product. You should also think about prioritization of the features. Make sure you don't have a lot of clutter in your product. Cutting features also is a part of product management function. You should think about that when you are working on a product. Make sure your product is simple. Again, I'll go back to those three principles that I follow, but feel free to add more principles to it. Add value, make it easy to use, and then you know satisfy the customers by with delightful experiences.
Really great. In a very simple three principles, you describe whole of the design principles and in a very simple way. So that so much sound good. So Shiva, according to you, is there anything else remaining from your side? So please let us to all of our audience, because your advice, uh, your suggestions are so much valuable to the so many people. So please.
Let's say I want to say about how moving to product management function, particularly it's a lot of I see a lot of people wanting to move to product management function, but I before just moving there, I know you can learn a lot from on the job experience, but try to get those concepts. I personally have, when I was trying for B school and also trying to get to a product manager role, what I have done is I have joined something called no pay MBA, which is a online it's a startup actually, created by a uh, someone from US. So I have joined that uh, along with a few other students. We have taken MBA curriculum and uh, followed that curriculum using online courses, and learned a lot about how sales works, how accounting works, how product strategy works, how product or business strategy, even how finance works within a product as well. So try to learn as much as possible about how a business runs, because essentially product is a business. So you have to make sure, like, you build the business the right way, you build the product right way, so that it attracts the customers, you make money out of it, and you do more for your customers with that money. So that is how it works. So try to learn all of that concepts, and then as I said, once if you think that that kind of role interests you, then you start approaching product managers within your organization. It is always easier to transition yourself into a product manager in your current organization, rather than uh, rather than applying for the same role in in the organizations outside. So try to do that. Take uh, as I said, like, go talk to a product manager. Also check with them what they do in their role, and try to take some work from them. Try to do that, help them out with the small tasks, so that you start learning what actually product management means, and you start gaining those skills. um, uh, Especially it is when you have a lot of stakeholders to deal with, a lot of customer personas, a lot of, maybe you could be dealing with, you would be dealing with engineering. So in certain cases, product management also requires you to deal with marketing, sales, documentation teams, experience, UX teams, user experience teams, and so on. So pick a specific area and start working in one of those aspects, and soon you will get an understanding of the whole function, and you can slowly move to that. Right now I'm in mid-level product management. So I haven't mastered product management, I'll say. I have worked on certain pieces of product management, but product management is vast. Like, if you have a simple product, you are the only product manager on it, then you might be able to experience all of the product management. But right now in organizations like Microsoft and Google, product management is a huge function. We have very big products. So each aspect of product management is distributed among multiple product managers, so we get to work on small pieces of product management. So that's how it's all right. You don't have to know all of the product management function as well. You keep growing, you move from one place to another place, and you learn more and more, so that you understand the whole picture and how it works.
Thank you so much, Shiva, for coming up for this podcast and giving your experience so much in a very easy way, and so that each and everyone knows about the product management and the design principle you tell in a very simple way that is not even available on the whole internet in a way, in this way. So thank you so much for this podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajit. Thank you for the opportunity. It's
Yeah.
nice talking to you.